Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Gonna look at several new metal releases I've been checking out. And the first one we're gonna look at is a very special one. That being the Scorian and the Greyleer third album by American band Mephitis. This was released on Profound Lore in 2024. And in fact, I got this on Christmas Day. We were opening Christmas presents with the wife and kids, and I look out the window and there was a present for Dad there, a package from Profound Lore. So I've always heard this band referenced as more of a death metal band than anything. I don't hear that at all. And if you were to ask the band themselves, they would tell you that they are dark metal. What's dark metal? I mean, it's different things to different people. Some people will tell you it's the whole Bethlehem sound. Some people will tell you it's that, like, Century Media 90s sound by by bands like Sentence, Tiamat, Rotting Christ, things like that. But to me, this album is something else entirely. It sounds and feels like a lost classic from the mid 90s European black metal scene. That's how it sounds to me. I don't really have a favorite song on here, but if I had to pick, let's go with one of the singles, the Untwined one. The strange thing about this band is that I don't find the songs overly memorable. I don't find it all that riff based, but so effortlessly enjoyable. It was really all I listened to for pretty much a month straight. And yeah, interesting style of guitars here. Just a lot of interplay between the two. Amazing songwriting, incredible musicianship. This probably would have been my second favorite album of 2024 if I heard it earlier. And one of the members of that band, I think the drummer, is also part of Fabricant, a band that I looked at a year or so ago. This was much more of a technical death metal thing and didn't do a whole lot for me, but Mephitis, again, I'm giving this a perfect score, and I look forward to what they come out with next. Next up, Attic and Return of the Witchfinder. Attic are a German heavy metal band, and if you have heard about Attic whatsoever, you know that their sound is classic Merciful Fate and King Diamond. But not a carbon copy. The songs are definitely different than most King Diamond albums, although I think the closest comparison would probably be the debut album, Fatal Portrait. But I don't think the vocals are a carbon copy either of King Diamond. I'd say 90%. Pretty close. Favorite songs on here: Hailstorms and Tempest, The Thief's Candle, and the closer, Synodus Horrenda. I think their strengths are definitely guitar solos and the choruses of the songs. Another highlight is definitely the title track, Return of the Witchfinder. Close near the end, comes out with a very cool I Remain part. But beyond that, with influences from the Legends of Metal, you got Azrael, where the vocals kind of put the King Diamond in the background and focus more on like a mid-range Rob Halford. And Judas Priest influences can further be found on the Baleful Baron, which kind of musically brings me back to Painkiller. And Attic are playing that Dead by Dog festival in Youngstown, Ohio in June. And you know what? I've never been to the Cleveland area. It's not even a 5-hour drive from Toronto. I had that week off work, coincidentally. So I'd say a 60% chance I'm going to go and check that festival out where Attic is headlining. We're going to keep with the new bands releasing classic heavy metal, and we're going to talk about Spirit Adrift and their most recent album, Ghost at the Gallows. Spirit Adrift are, well, they formed in 2015, and they are already on their 5th full-length album, Nevermind. I believe they put out several EPs as well. And the main guy behind the band, Nate Garrett, was a member of Gatecreeper back in the day, and more recently I was actually looking at his Typo Negative inspired project, Neon Nightmare. But if you'll observe the flag behind me, that's Curse of Conception, the second Spirit Adrift full-length album, and when that came out, I was a massive fan of that. However, the next 2-3 albums, I liked them, but I didn't love them. But this new album came, and I thought it was time to give Spirit Adrift another go. Definitely a guitar band. Nate's a guitar player, and those are the strengths here. I love the riffs, I love the sound of guitars, and especially the solos. Yes, I have a guitar, and I mess around with it a bit, but I really don't know how to play guitar. And but if I knew how to shred, I would like to shred like this guy. I just like the way he solos. Favorite song on here is definitely the opener, Give Her to the River. Just a smoking track right off the bat, with my favorite solo on the album as well. But Barn Burners next up, another awesome track. Death Won't Stop Me, I Shall Return. Great stuff. And never seen a Spirit Adrift live, but if they ever come through Toronto, plan on being there. So finally today, we're going to look at Ihsahn and his 8th solo album. Self-titled. Forgot what the title was, but yes, it is a self-titled album. So, Ihsahn, when his first solo album, The Adversary, was released, I picked it up pretty much the first week of release. I'll never forget that, because I was on vacation in Miami with my parents and sisters when I was a young man, and I picked up this and the Enslaved album that was released at the time, Rune, and those two Norwegian legends were the soundtrack to my sunny vacation. And I did like this album. The next several Ihsahn solo albums, though, I thought they were cool, but more or less lost my interest. However, the two before this, Amor and Arctis, I think they're called, I thought those albums were great, and I was back on the Ihsahn wagon. So I was looking forward to this, but when it was released, to be honest, I hated it. I streamed it a couple times and said, this is not for me. But I found it for a price that I couldn't walk away from. So I picked it up fairly recently, and I warmed up to it a bit. Like, what really is all that metal about this album? Not that much outside of the screaming vocals for, a good portion of the album. Not sure why he does that, because on one hand, he seems to be kind of keeping metal at arm's length, but also knows that metal people are the only people that are really going to buy the album. But my favorite tracks are probably Anima Extranet, which is a short neoclassical piece, but I thought that was pretty nice. And then the last real song, At the Heart of All Things Broken. Definitely moments that make me cringe on here, but overall, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, and worth your while if you're a Ihsahn fan or just an Emperor completist. So that's it for me. Thanks for checking it out, and see you next time.